friend of the show, Paul Sewald, and known nice guy in MLB, because
Good
he's
fella.
up there in that category when you see people actually tweet that. I saw some people be like, one of the nicest guys in the league, and I do full-heartedly agree with that, if that was a word. $7 million over one season to the Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians spending a little dough. And if I recall, AJ, their bullpen was pretty damn good last year, so this helps.
Well, it helps because a lot of their bullpen was young. Plus, they lost a couple of those guys.
Who'd they lose?
They traded away Eli Morgan, right?
Oh, right.
And they lost the other guy, the S.
Oh my gosh.
It starts with an S. Sandlin?
Yes.
Something like that.
Nick Sandlin?
Nick Sandlin.
Oh.
Yeah,
No,
so they lost those two guys, so they needed a righty.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing you have to understand about bullpens is their guys were young last year, other than Class A. And so the bullpens kind of go like this. You're never going to have a historic bullpen like they did last year forever. So I think this is a great signing for the Guardians because it brings in a veteran guy who has closing experience. If God forbid something happens to Class A, he can pitch to 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever you need him to pitch. And he's a veteran guy to stick down there to talk to these guys. So I love this signing. And $7 million, good for you, Paul.
Yep, easy. That's an easy signing for me. Unfortunately, Cleveland's not going out and getting those big bats. They brought back Santana, but they were never going to make a big move. I mean, it's just Cleveland's MO besides the Edwin Encarnacion signing back in 15, 16, somewhere in there. They never make the big move unless it's a trade. And I like when good teams double down on what they did really well. If you have good defense, hey, add to it. Add a Gold Glover, add a Platinum Glover. And to me, I think they had an incredible bullpen and his veteran leadership. He's been to the playoffs. He's pitched in big games. He's had success in big games and failures in big games. So I think he's a great addition to that group.
So last year, Sewald had a 4.31 ERA, 98 ERA plus. ERA is not everything for relievers. We talked to Griffin Jacks about that in yesterday's show. The thing that stands out to me for Sewald is that he did hit a pretty big speed bump last year around July. So you're like, man, what happened? But it's one thing if you see a reliever pop up and have a bad year overall and never really shine. His first 18 appearances last year produced an 0.54 ERA. He was 11 for 11 for saves through June. So for me, I'm usually like, he got off kilter. Cleveland sees something, thinks that they can get him back on track from what would happened at the second half of the season. So I'm like, good signing.
Yeah. Great signing.
It's not like you looked at him last year
and they can fix him. They can fix him, though, because Cleveland has a history of kind of fixing guys a little bit. So especially bullpen guys. So I love it. Carl Willis is great there. Stephen Vogt gets it. Stephen Vogt probably knows him from his Seattle days. Let's not forget, Stephen Vogt was in Seattle when Sewald was playing there. So I love this signing for the Guardians. I think it's a good one.
Where are we at on the Guardians? We haven't talked about them a lot this offseason. They did have, arguably the best bullpen in baseball last year, maybe not even that much of an argument. And I know you mentioned a couple guys gone, but most of their big boys are there and are young. Obviously, Cade Smith and his fastball, ridiculous. Class A is still a stud. You add Sewald. There are a lot of names in that bullpen that really stand out. So do we feel like the Guardians are still the team to beat in the American League Central?
No.
No?
No.
Homer.
I think the Royals are the team to beat. I think the Tigers and Guardians, you wonder if they can capture what they had last year. Can they go a whole – because the rhetoric behind them is, that bullpen, unbelievable. The bullpen pushed them. Can you push the same group of guys? Same with the Tigers, too. Can you push the same group of guys to make another run like that? Can Carlos Santana step up for what Josh Naylor didn't only have good numbers, clutch. He had clutch homers. He had so many big RBIs for this team. Who's going to step up and be that protection for Jose Ramirez, who down the stretch kind of, for Jose Ramirez style. He slumped a little bit, but I just feel like there's too much. It's too tenuous to be able to say, oh yeah, we're gonna definitely repeat what we did. After I think the Royals have improved. I know they got rid of Singer, but I think they improved an area that they needed to improve in with getting India. And I think I think it's the Royals division because Bobby Witt's only going to get better because he's still super young.
That's true. There is another level for Bobby Witt.
There is, but I just don't know that. Again, is Seth Lugo going to have the same year? Right. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I love where the Royals are at and how they've done. They spent some money and done some things. The Tigers, to me, are the team that should be taking that next step, and they didn't go out and sign the people that they've needed to sign so far. So to me, I think they're missing the boat. Now, what will the Twins do? Let's not forget, the Twins had a lead in this division and were right there until the end. They kind of choked it at the end. And then it kind of choked it. They did choke it at the end. So the Twins still believe in what they have. Now, I know
they didn't have the division.
The playoffs, division, whatever.
They had the playoffs.
I mean, they were right
they had
there
a wild
for
card
a
spot.
while with the Guardians, too. They were close.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they had a chance, and then they choked it away. So will they step up and make a signing here at the end, a late-night Twins kind of under the radar signing? I don't know. I know this for a fact. There's one team in that division that ain't winning it. There's 4 other ones that have an opportunity, but there's one in that division that is not winning that division.
You don't like the Tigers?
I just said the Tigers need to take that next step.
I'm kidding.